Hello students, today I am going to discuss evaluation of public administration as a subject. This topic is very important from BPSC exam perspective. However, in last year there has been question, so in general I don't keep as an important one, but there are certain questions or topic which cannot be ignored whether they come or not. So what I mean to say, we have to do the topic despite being this question is being asked last time. So why this topic is important? This question topic becomes important due to two things. First thing, in general UPSC, BPSC sometimes repeats its question. So if questions are repeated and if you have gone through this topic, then you may have some edge over the other student. And second, this topic is very important wheresoever understanding of public administration as a subject is concerned. So you are supposed to go through this topic very significantly or very adequately. So today I am going to discuss evaluation of public administration as a subject. In BPSC, 40th BPSC, there has been very difficult, or you can say different type of question. Question 2 was asked that as public administration developed in America in response to administrative reform took place that time, that is why its evaluation or development has not taken place in proper way what it was supposed to be. Getting point? So, and second part, the question has two dimensions, techno-managerial dimension and second social philosophical dimension, to point out these features of these dimensions. So this is the question was asked in 40th BPSC. In last also there has been question, what are recent change in the study of public administration as a study, as a subject, etc. So we have to be very concerned about this topic. So today I will discuss evaluation of public administration as subject. You know, public administration can be discussed under various heads depending upon our level of understanding. In general, it is discussed under 4 heads, in particular at least under 2 heads. In general, 4 heads, what are the heads? First, public administration is a subject or an area of intellectual inquiry. Number 2, public administration as an activity or process. Number 3, public administration as a career or profession. Number 4, public administration as a action or visible part of government. Get a point? First 2 parts are very important. Get a point? First, public administration is subject, and second, public administration is an activity or process. These 2 dimensions are closely related. So where there is changes in public administration as an activity or as a process has direct influence on public administration as a subject. So they are very closely related. So suppose some student is not in position to address what development took place public administration subject, no matter. If we notice the present perspective in practice, public administration activity or process, and he can narrate the things in right way, I do hope his work will be over. So because whatsoever we do today, we will read tomorrow. So what we have to do? Suppose at present we are facing corona or this type of war type situation, definitely it is going to constitute important subject matter in course of public administration. So may be possible that in future this topic may be addressed. So this thing you require to keep in mind. So now public administration is a subject. Get a point? Is like political science, like philosophy, like sociology. Get a point? And public administration and activity or process like maintaining law and order, collecting revenue, safeguarding public interest, etc. Wheresoever public administration and activity or process is concerned, It is as old as Indian political system. You can go back to or trace back to Indus Valley civilization or Vedic period or Mauryan administration. You can find the existence of administration there. Get a point? But wheresoever public administration as a subject is concerned, it is a relatively new one. It is said that it is developed in 1887 when an article written by Woodrow Wilson, The Study of Administration, was published. Getting point? So if you take 1887 as year of evaluation, and today there is 2020, so it has only 132 years old history. It is very recent one, very new one. But in this direction, there has been work right from beginning, very beginning. You can say that you can find some glimpses of public administration in Mahabharata and Ramayana also. But the on record, the Kautilya Arthashastra, the politics of Aristotle, and the Prince of Machiavelli are considered important source of information with regard to public administration. In Kautilya Arthashastra, we get glimpses of administrative system during ancient period in India. In politics written by Aristotle, we find glimpses of administrative system during ancient period in Europe or Western country. And then in Machiavelli's Prince, we get glimpses of administrative system during medieval period in Western country. So these are things we require to do. In 16th and 18th century, there has been a very significant changes or very significant incident took place, that is called Cameralist reform movement. Who were Cameralists? Cameralists were termed as group of scholar and administrator in Prussia and Austria. They come together to study on administration. They try to define public administration. They try to give emphasis on study of public administration. They also give emphasis on giving professional training to public servant, etc. Get a point? So Cameralist reform movement is very important wheresoever evaluation of public administration as a subject is concerned. Get a point? In second half of 18th century, perhaps 1756, Hamilton for the first time tried to define meaning and scope of public administration in his book called Federalist. Get a point? In 1812, the first book on public administration called Principles de Administration Publique by Charles in Bonin was written. It was written in French. Charles in Bonin, 1812, Principles d'Administration Publique. Getting point? In 1856, Vivian, Vivian has written administrative studies in two parts. Getting point? Vivian is considered father of administrative science. Getting point? Father of administrative science. But the things which was required to develop public administration subject were not sufficient. It was feasible only in 1887 when an article written by Woodrow Wilson, The Principles of Administration, was published. The publication of this article laid a cause basis for emergence of public administration in the subject. This article was published in Political Science Quarterly, getting a point, in 1887, written by Woodrow Wilson, in which he developed politics administration dichotomy, which become foundation for emergence of public administration subject. That's why an American scholar, and you can father of development, new public administration, Dwight Waldo, termed Woodrow Wilson as father of public administration in 1887 as year of evaluation. However, some scholar like Nicholas Henry is not agree with Dwight Waldo. He told that the systematic evaluation of public administration started in 1900, not 1887, because in 1887 definitely the article was published, but nothing significant took place. In 1900, one book written by Frank J. Goodenough, Politics and Administration, was published. That's why 1900 can be termed as year of evolution. Getting point? Frank J. Goodenough is also called father of public administration in America, or you can say American public administration. In India, M.P. Sharma is considered father of public administration. He was the first professor of public administration in Sagar University. That's why he is called father of public administration in India. You know, the public administration, if you take 1900 as year of evolution, today there is 2020, it has 120 years history. It is basically 20th century development. Can you tell me what was the reason why public administration emerged as a subject? What was the reason behind responsible for its emergence? Then you can say first thing that scientific management movement took place that caused impetus for evolution of public administration subject. Then you can say 19th century industrialization also led several new sets of problems which also caused emergence of public administration as a subject. Then you can say in 20th century the police state concept was replaced by welfare state notion. And you can say one thing more, governmental reform in America was the main reason for emergence of public administration subject. You know, in 1887, when the article published, get a point, it was published in response to one prevailing problem in America, that is called a spoil system. I will discuss later on, but this was four reasons I told. First reason, industrial, scientific management development, scientific management movement. Second, I told that industrial revolution of 20th century. Third, I told, you can say welfare state notion. Number 4, governmental reform taking place in America, where is reason responsible for emergence of public administration is a subject. Get a point? So the subject is only 120 years old, but its brief history is also full of up and down. That's why we can divide this topic under following heads, several heads. Divide Waldo divided evolution of public administration under 5 heads. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. Get a point? In the same way, Nicholas Henry outlined 5, you can say, paradigm in the evolution of public administration subject. Robert Golombowski divided evolution of public administration as a subject under 4 phases. So there different scholars have classified according to their requirements or according to their mindset. For example, if you take Robert Golombowski, he tried to explain that a study of public administration can be studied in the framework of its locus and focus. Means what? The locus and focus of public administration has been throughout changing, and evolution of public administration took place accordingly. That's why he gave a statement that evolution of public administration can be studied in terms of its locus and focus. On that basis, Nicholas Henry divided or identified 5 paradigms in public administration. First paradigm was called the politics administration dichotomy. It started in 1900 and continued till 1926. Politics administration dichotomy. The second paradigm was called the principles of administration. It started in 1927, continued 1937. Number 3, the paradigm of public administration and political science. It started in 1950, continued 1970. Then fourth one, the paradigm of public administration as administrative science or management. It started 1956, continued 1970. And last, the paradigm of public administration as public administration. It started in 1970 and continued further. In the same phase, Robert Golombowski also divided evolution of public administration as four phases. Phase 1, he termed the name analytic politics administration. Means during this phase, we were in position to analyze the relation between politics and administration. Then second phase, he quoted concrete politics administration. Here in this phase, politics and administration came close to each other. Phase 3, science of management. Here there was thrust on management aspect in public administration. And number 4, public policy phase, perspective phase. Here there were work on thrust on public philosophy, public policy. There are 4 phases identified by which one? Robert Golombsky. I am discussing in general the stages developed by Dwight Waldo. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, etc. Getting point? Stage or period are more or less same. Now stage 1, that is called politics administration dichotomy. It started in 1887, continued 1926. This phase started with the, you can say, publication of an article written by Woodrow Wilson. The name of article was The Study of Administration, published in Political Science Quarterly. In this article, he developed concept of politics administration dichotomy. Means politics and administration are two different things. Politics is concerned for policy making and administration is concerned with policy execution. Getting point? This concept was developed in response to ill consequences of a spoil system. A spoil system, Loot Pranali, was developed in 1825 by President Andrew Jackson. Getting point? He is considered father of a spoil system. President Jefferson, President Washington, then Adams all supported this principle. But what this principle was saying? This principle was saying that after political changes, administrative system gets spoiled. So there is need to change administrative system altogether with the change in political system. So what was happening that time? We changed government from clerk to, from peon to president. All were newly appointed. Get a point? Fresh appointed. Get a point? And those posts were given to those who held political party to come in power. And their tenure was also very much unstable. So what was thrust? Their objective was to misuse power. The ultimate repercussion was discontinuance of public policy, ignorance of public interest, etc. Several, you can say, ill consequences were there. Merit was ignored, equality was ignored, achievement was underrated. Only political affiliation was given recognition. That's why an unemployed youth called George Getty assassinated then American President James Garfield in 1883. That was, you can say, eye-opening situation. As a result, in 1883, with, you can say, Pendleton Act, the spoil system was removed and merit system was introduced. In 1887, in the same sequence, the article was published by Woodrow Wilson called Politics Administration Dichotomy. Getting point? So, according to this article, according to this concept, politics and administration are two different things. Politics is concerned with contesting election, formulating public policy, etc. And administration is concerned with execution of formulated public policy. Woodrow Wilson told that administrative questions are not political questions, both are different. Woodrow Wilson defined public administration as separate profession. He also quoted public administration as science. Getting a point? To him, to run administration is difficult than framing constitution. Getting a point? constitution is more, framing constitution is a little bit easier as compared to implementing it. Getting a point? So this was the reason to for emergence of public administration as a subject, because in the hands of political system it was considered that it is grossly neglected. Execution part is grossly neglected. Heading 1. To manage execution exclusively, a separate discipline was required or suggested, that is public administration. His view was supported by Frank J. Goodenough in 1900. His book Politics and Administration was published. He also supported politics and administration dichotomy. In first decade of 20th century, American universities started giving attention on public administration as subject. Syracuse was the first university where public administration was introduced in 1924 as a subject. In 1926, L.D. White has written one book called An Introduction to the Study of Public Administration. Is considered first textbook on public administration. Getting a point? So this you can say all about the first is the stages, the first phase where there was thrust on politics and administration dichotomy. Getting a point? There is no difficulty. Now we come to second phase. This stage you can say. This is called Principles of Administration. It started in 1927 and continued till 1937. This period started with the publication of book written by Willoughby. The name of book was The Principles of Administration. Willoughby termed public administration or administration as science, and like science, administration has also certain principles. So major concern of this stage was the principles of administration. All thinkers, whosoever participated in this period, all were in favor of finding out principles of administration. For example, Henry Fayol, he has written his book, The Industrial General Administration, tried to identify 14 principles of administration. Luther Gulick identified 10 principles of administration. Lyndall Urwick in the beginning 8 principles and later on 29 principles. Monet O'Reilly 4 principles. So what was the thing? Here all scholars believe that public administration is science. Here the term public become meaningless and all administration were considered alike. As they are science and science has certain principles, so administration must have also certain principles. A scholar in this period tried to discover principles of administration. This period is very important because during this period several new theory came, like scientific management theory, like in the administrative management theory, like bureaucratic theory, even the post-corp developed during this period. That's why this period is called golden period. Getting a point? There is no confusion at all. Clear? So if you tell me 5 points about second phase. First point, that it came close to management. Number 2, it started with the publication of book The Principle of Administration by Willoughby in 1927. Third, like science, administration must have also science. Number 4, all scholars in this period identified principles of administration. Scientific management theory, administrative management theory, all developed during this period. And this period is called golden period of public administration. Now, the phase 3 or period 3, that is called era of challenges. This period is just contrast to second phase. Here, the outcome of Hawthorne experiment published. What was Hawthorne experiment? Hawthorne experiment took place in between 1924 to 1932 by George Elton Mayo to examine the presumptions or postulates by F.W. Taylor in scientific management theory. This experiment, almost challenge all the premises or postulates developed by F.W. Taylor as incomplete or partial one. That's why this period is called era of challenges. In this period, the politics administration dichotomy and principles of administration postulates were challenged. Get a point? This period, human resource theory came, behavioral approach came. This period, the thrust to public administration as science was also challenged. Here, public administration and private administration are equally dropped. So this period is definitely some sort of, you can say, challenges because of two reasons. First, that the politics administration dichotomy was challenged. Number two, the principles of administration were challenged. Number three, you can say there were, you can say, some subjectivity on the assumptions of public administration. That's why it is called era of challenges. However, some good thing also took place, like human relation theory came, behavioral approach came. So these are some attributes of this stage. Get a point? Here you can say the George Elton Mayo, Simon, Bernard, then you can say Roethlisberger, Dixon were important scholars. They have come valuable contribution. Now we come to the fourth period, that is called period of identity crisis. This phase is ultimate one because public administration was facing the most severe problem. It started in 1948, continued till 1970. That is called period of identity crisis. Now subject has lost its identity. It was in verge of extinction. Now its scholar started attempt to recover it. In 1948 to 1950, for 2 years there has been efforts to how to recover the situation, how to manage the situation. The scholars were divided in two parts. First group of scholars was in favor of associating with political science again, while second group of scholars was in favor of separate identity. In 1950 to 1970, there is existence of first group of scholars who wanted to associate public administration with political science. They told that in our time, the administrative theory is also political theory. Getting point? So here, the public administration tried to merge with the political science, and with mergence, several new concepts came, like new public administration, development administration, then administrative development, then you can say comparative public administration, then public choice approach, critical theory of bureaucracy, etc. Get your point? As I told, the other group of scholars were not in favor in merging with political science. They were in search of separate identity, and their impact was noticed during 1956 to 1970. So during this period, public administration developed in two different streams. First as with political science and second with administrative science or management. With association with administrative science or management, in between 1956 to 1970, there was major thrust on the organizational dynamics. Major thrust on organizational dynamics. Leadership, communication, motivation, system approach, etc. were given too much importance here. Get a point? So in totality, if you examine or you evaluate the total outcome of fourth phase, you find that really it lost its identity, because even with either with associated political science or with management, you are losing your own identity. That's why it is no exaggeration in saying that this is really a period of identity crisis. Now, the period stage fifth. Now, this phase started 1971 onwards. Get a point? This started with first Minerva conference took place 1968. This was headed by Dwight Waldo. This conference gave emphasis that public administration should try to develop its own identity. It should try to demarcate its relation with political science on the one hand and management on the other hand. It should try to develop its own identity. That's why Nicholas Henry termed this phase as paradigm of public administration as public administration. Here, public administration tried to work upon itself. There was too much work on public policy here. In this phase, politics administration dichotomic concept was ultimately discarded by Dwight Waldo as Ottoman credo, and it was replaced by public policy approach, where public policy formulation, execution, and evaluation all are considered integrated one. Getting point? So this phase is very important, where we have evaluation of public administration as independent subject is concerned. Getting point? So here this period continued 1980 till 1980, because 1990s onwards there has been worldwide changes caused by LPG. Getting point? LPG is, you can say, one of the significant landmark in the evaluation of all social behavioral science, including public administration. So now there is thrust to develop on paradigm 6, or you can say 6th phase or 6th period, that is called paradigm shift. There is lack of clarity where we are moving, what should be thrust. So now there is thrust on governance. The locus of public administration shifted from administration to governance now, and focus on quantity, not quantity but on quality. So this was significant change took place 1919 onwards. Get a point? That is called new public management come, good governance come, e-governance come. So all three major significant development took place: new public management, good governance, and you can say e-governance. E-governance came due to emergence of information communication technology. Good governance concept was developed by World Bank for third world countries. To World Bank country, the governance of third world countries is not up to mark. That is why they require good governance. And what is new public management? New public management is basically new form of administration to address situations emerged due to LPG. Get your point? So now we move to 21st century with this development, like new public management, like you can say good governance, then e-governance, smart administration, etc. In 21st century, we have now 20 years, 2 decades is over. If you take notice of 2 decades, you find these 2 decades are full of turmoils, full of ups and downs. In 2008, there was recession. So LPG lost impetus. NPM lost impetus. Get a point? And there was emergence of new public service approach. So what is the difference between new public management and new public service approach? In new public management, we gave emphasis to take individual as customer or client. Here in new public service approach, we require to consider individual as valuable citizen, and giving services are not your privileges, but they are basically their rights. Get a point? So these are the important shift took place during this period. So what I mean to 21st century, now there is significant changes taking place. New politics agenda we have. We have now different set of issues to be addressed, like gender, environment, equality, injustice, get a point? Insecurity, etc. are to be required. And in postmodernism, we are not work on quantity, we require to work on quality also. Get a better health facility we require to give better life we require, because public deserve better life and it is your responsibility to give the better one. So these are things taking place in 21st century. So what I mean to say, in 21st century also we are having the same confusion. The public administration is still in search of its evolution. There is no, you can say, its stability, what you can say, what we have. We are in search of finding out some new scope, new vision, new orientation for emerging situation. You know, in 1968, first Minneborough Conference took place. In 1988, second Minneborough Conference took place. In 2008, third Minneborough Conference took place. And now fourth Minneborough Conference will take place in 2028. So this is continuity of, you can say, Minneborough Conference reflects, you can say, evolution of public administration with change orientation. Getting a point? So we require to accommodate new issues, new challenges, new paradigm whatsoever develop in the course of time. So evolution of public administration is still continuing and in future likely to be also. Wheresoever the overall impact on public administration of various subjects are concerned, it has two subjects which has significant influence. First, management, and second, political science. The management has caused techno-managerial dimension to public administration, and the association of political science caused emergence of social philosophical dimension, which is end part of the public administration, and the managerial dimension caused end part of the administration. And both are equally important. One is dealt with means, other is dealt with end. One is concerned with internal dimension, other is concerned with external dimension. One is concerned with economy efficiency, other is concerned with goal attainment and effectiveness. One is concerned with management, another is concerned with political science. Get a point? So these are two dimensions which has significant influence of public administration. Now, with changing scenario, several new things are also coming very effectively. Now ecology started influencing. So ecology has significant influence of public administration. Earlier we used to do public administration deal with what, how and what of administration. How and what of the administration. What and how. Do you remember the definition given by Democ? Public administration concerned with what and how of administration. Now we are not concerned merely with what and how, where and when also. So now the locus of public administration is getting wider ground, wider horizon. Get a point? So now we are not only concerned with what, we are also concerned with when and how, where, etc. So the locus is very fastly changing now. Anyway, so now you try to write one answer whatsoever question came in BPSC. If any difficulty, you can contact me. You can consult one mood book also. Listen my lecture twice, thrice, and go through one book once or twice also. Then after start writing, and if you have any difficulty, you can write. You know, this question, this topic is important one. This question is ticklish one. This question, this topic has large number of input, so it is little bit clumsy also. But you don't require to be very panic. You require to be very, very systematic. And one thing more I will like to say: avoid thinking that no, I will write only in exam hall. No, it's not. Nothing. You write just now because it is a practice which man individual for fact. So if you overlook it, you will damage yourself. So why you are damaging yourself? Why not you are saying your sit secure in next BPS exam? So just stop laziness and start doing preparation just now. Okay, thanks, enjoy.